After a night on the town, a good deed ends in bloodshed.
As he's doing the right thing, he opens that door of that bar, and death is waiting on the other side.
There wasn't much at all for us to work on, and a detective's worst nightmare is a whodunit.
Lieutenant Joe Kenda races to find a killer before he strikes again.
He said, I've already killed one person this week, and I won't mind killing another.
He's going to shoot them. He's going to shoot their family. He's going to shoot their dog.
In order to catch him, Lieutenant Joe Kenda puts his reputation and his life on the line.
My men were not happy with me. They were angry. They believed I was making a huge mistake. The world is a dangerous place, and it's filled with dangerous people. And despite your plan to avoid meeting any of those people, you must have been my concern.
May 29th, 1996. On the north side of Colorado Springs, patrons of the Aaron Inn, a blue-collar watering hole, are unwinding from a long day of work.
It is just a local neighborhood bar, a local pub place where you would go and meet a couple of friends.
While most of the regulars come to the Aaron Inn to enjoy a late-night drink, 29-year-old Chris Devoy likes to unwind by working on his pool game.
Chris Devoy played pool at the Aaron Inn a lot. It was his hangout place.
Sitting across the room is Patricia Eck, Chris's girlfriend, and her co-worker, Courtney Smith. While Chris plays pool, they engage in a long and rowdy night of drinking.
They meet at the bar, they drink till about 12:30 or something like that, and then they leave the bar.
Patricia and her friend Courtney are too drunk to drive. They ask Chris to take them home in Courtney's car.
Christopher Paul Devoy was seated in the driver's seat. His girlfriend, Pat, was seated in the passenger seat, and her girlfriend was seated in the rear.
Getting ready to close the door, thinking everything's going to be fine when all of a sudden somebody approaches them. They heard a shot, saw Chris slump over.
Covered in blood, Patricia and Courtney flee the vehicle. The assailant takes off running and disappears into the night. The two women run screaming into the bar, begging for help. EMTs race to the scene. Across town, Lieutenant Joe Kenda is blowing off some steam at the firing range when he gets an urgent call.
The way the initial call comes in is nothing more than a shooting. No robbery was attempted. This person didn't demand money, didn't steal this car. So they're not exactly sure what this is, other than they have a seriously wounded victim. So we drive to the crime scene. When we get there, there's a car parked in front of the bar.
Gentlemen, bring me up to speed.
Okay, well, this is the car.
The two female witnesses that were outside the bar, and my people were in contact with all the patrons inside the bar.
As Kenda surveys the scene, EMTs load Chris Devoy's blood-soaked body into an ambulance. Detectives notify Chris's family of the situation. Their son is still alive, but his prognosis is grim.
It is a large gunshot wound to the neck. There is an enormous amount of blood.
I can't imagine what he went through to have that gunshot in his neck, and I just can't imagine.
All right, I'll take a look.
Kenda orders his detectives to search the surrounding area.
The first step, of course, is trace evidence. Is it a semi-automatic weapon? Is there an ejected casing? We find no casing in the car or near the car.
The absence of a casing gives Kenda an important clue.
This weapon will not have an expended casing. The casing is contained within the gun. We're looking for a revolver.
With no weapon or bullet casings,
I'm Detective Kenda.
Kenda needs to interview the two eyewitnesses, Chris's girlfriend, Patricia Eck, and her pal, Courtney Smith.
This is pretty traumatic, but I need to ask you a couple questions.
After taking a moment to gather herself, Courtney tells Kenda about the victim, Chris Devoy.
Christopher Paul Devoy, 29 years old. He is a resident of the area. He lives less than 2 minutes from the bar.
He just loved life and he enjoyed everything.
Oh, you beat him to it.
He'd do anything for you. And he was father of 2, 4 and 7. Very proud of that.
He enjoyed things like horseback riding, motorcycle riding, dirt bikes, skiing. He was very happy-go-lucky. Wasn't a person that he got acquainted with that he didn't make friends with.
Chris may be a friendly, outgoing guy who grew up in the area. But as Kenda learns, his life was far from perfect.
He'd gotten a divorce. He had ambitions to go back to school. He was unemployed at the time. He had been laid off.
And unlike girlfriend Patricia Eck and her pal Courtney Smith, Chris was completely sober at the time of the shooting.
You're gonna have to drive us home. Oh yeah? One too many shots?
They asked Christopher if he can drive them home in their car, and then he can get a ride back to the bar. He has no idea that's going to happen. He's just in exactly the wrong place at exactly the wrong time.
Kenda presses Courtney for details about the shooter.
Did you see this guy? Could you give me a description?
Unfortunately, she didn't get a good look.
We asked her if there's anybody else with him. She says, I just saw that guy's waist, and I saw the big gun.
You did see the gun.
Tell me about the gun.
Anything you can think of would be helpful.
Well, it's big, and it's shiny, and it has a round thing in the middle.
It's an incredibly vague description, but it confirms Kenda's theory about the possible murder weapon.
She's referring to a cylinder and a revolver.
We were looking for a larger caliber firearm, 357 plus, possibly 44, something along those lines.
This is a very powerful handgun, designed to cause grievous injury and death. What is going on here?
Kenda turns his attention to Chris's grief-stricken girlfriend, Patricia Eck.
I'm Detective Kenda. I know this is very traumatic, but I need to ask you a few questions.
She is very upset. She has blood spatter on her clothing, some of it on her face. We asked her, how long have you known Chris? Well, I've known him for a couple of years. We've dated in the past. We date off and on now.
Can you tell me what happened tonight?
From her position in the passenger seat, Patricia saw considerably more than Courtney.
She sees this male approach. He has a huge gun. He says, freeze. Freeze! And he is shot in the neck. He falls in her lap across the seat.
Patricia says she couldn't make out the face of the shooter, but one unusual feature did catch her eye.
Ponytail.
He did have
a ponytail, yeah.
And that's very helpful. That's good. That's good.
He had a ponytail. 1996, ponytails on men are not common.
It is a very highly populated military community. There's not a lot of people in Car Springs that have really long hair.
The discussion of the ponytail triggers something in Patricia, and she offers Kenda a bit of information that could break the case wide open.
Then she pauses and says, oh my God, it's Brett Maverick.
It's Brett Maverick.
He was in the bar tonight?
Well, who is Brett Maverick? He's part Native American. And because of that, he wears his hair in a ponytail.
Patricia tells Kenda that Brett Maverick is a regular at the bar and was there that night. Kenda asks her on a scale of 1 to 10 how certain she is that Brett was the man who pulled the trigger. Patricia doesn't hesitate.
I'm a 9. Oh my God, it was Brett Maverick. She must have said that 10 times.
According to Patricia, it's not just Maverick's looks that implicate him.
She said that Chris had been teasing him about his ponytail.
Maybe you get your hair cut, learn a little something. Be damned if I'm gonna get beat by a girl.
Well, he said something to him, and Brett said a few things back.
Go ahead and make that shot there. Say something else. Go ahead.
He had words with the victim, according to her. Now, these are words in a bar. Could this have evolved into a shooting? Absolutely. Here we go. Bar wars.
The following morning, detectives track down Brett Maverick and bring him to the station for questioning. He matches Patricia's description, right down to the long black ponytail.
What happened in the bar?
Maverick freely admits to having words with Devoy the night of the murder.
We were just playing pool, we were just being guys.
So he was making fun of you? Making fun of your ponytail, maybe?
It was just talk. I was laughing, so was he. Bar talk.
Making you a little bit angry or anything, you know?
Nah.
Was it serious? No.
He denied.
Kenda asks Brett Maverick to put his denial to the ultimate test.
Would you be willing to take a polygraph about your involvement in this?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't do this. I didn't hurt anybody. I certainly didn't hurt Chris.
Let's go.
But in the course of questioning Brett Maverick, Kenda makes a move that will shock his fellow detectives and cause them to question his judgment like never before.
My men were not happy with me.
Making a big mistake, Lieutenant.
They were frustrated and they were angry. The one thing I'm good at is making decisions, and I made a decision. He's not the guy.
In the early morning hours of May 29th, 1996, Aaron Inn patron Chris Devoy was shot while sitting in the front seat of a car with his girlfriend Patricia Eck. While ER doctors fight to save the victim's life, Lieutenant Joe Kenda and his team of detectives have called a suspect in for questioning. Another regular at the Aaron Inn who had words with Chris Devoy earlier in the evening.
There's a guy by the name of Brett Maverick. He's at the bar, he doesn't have an alibi, so he looked really like the best suspect that we had at the time.
Brett Maverick denies having anything to do with the shooting.
Would you be willing to take a polygraph about your involvement in this?
Oh, yeah. I'll take a polygraph right now.
Let's go.
Raise your arms up.
But as Maverick is being hooked up to the machine, one of the detectives rushes in with urgent news.
Lieutenant Kenda, his lawyer's in the front lobby.
Would you hold on for a second?
While we're talking to him, a lawyer arrives in the police operations center lobby. He reports to the desk clerk that he has been employed by Brett Maverick's mother to be his attorney in this matter.
Kenda knows that Maverick's lawyer will likely put a stop to the polygraph.
Your mom sent a lawyer for you. You want to talk to him?
I don't need a lawyer. I can handle this my damn self.
Said absolutely not. I didn't ask her to call a lawyer, and I don't need one. I went downstairs and I explained to the attorney that his client had waived his right to counsel and didn't want to talk to him.
What do you mean he's waived his right? His mother just hired me this morning. I'm here to see him.
And I said, well, Counselor, what you are is confused. He has the right to an attorney, but you don't have a right to a client.
And if you don't have any other clients in the building today, there's the door.
I think this is something I should discuss with my client before that decision is made.
After dismissing the attorney, Kenda and his team administer the polygraph.
You can go ahead and proceed.
All right, stick your arm back out.
During the course of the test, Maverick's behavior seems to betray a guilty conscience.
He seemed to be nervous.
Were you present when Chris Devoy was shot?
No.
He seemed to be very uneasy, obviously afraid about what's going on.
Did you shoot Chris Devoy?
No.
After analyzing the results, the findings are conclusive.
We got the results back. You failed miserably.
The examiner says this man shot your victim.
Our polygrapher said, well, if he didn't kill Chris Devoy, he must have killed somebody.
Everybody's elated, of course, among the detectives working the case, that old Brett here has failed the polygraph. We're all done. Let's throw this guy in jail and move on to something else.
But something doesn't sit right with Kenda. After years of looking into the eyes of cold-blooded killers, he knows a murderer when he sees one.
I don't like this at all. I don't like the fact that he's completely straightforward. I don't like the fact that he threw his lawyer out of the building. All of that says to me that Brett didn't do anything. His whole demeanor is correct for an innocent man.
And even though Brett has failed the polygraph and Patricia X's eyewitness account places him at the scene, Kenda relies on his gut and makes a controversial decision.
The machine says you killed Chris.
You know, Brett, everybody in here wants to arrest you. Everybody but me. I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to do that because I believe you. Now, I wouldn't be planning any European vacations if I were you.
But you're free to go.
Thank you, sir.
A stunned silence fills the room.
My men were not happy with me.
I think you're making a big mistake, Lieutenant.
They were frustrated and they were angry.
He turned down a lawyer. I talked to this guy face to face. I know killers. I don't think this guy's a killer.
They believed I was making a huge mistake. I don't trust polygraphs. I don't trust machines that delve into the human mind. I trust eye-to-eye contact. I talked to this guy, and I believe him. Take him home.
Brett Maverick leaves the station a free man. And with him goes the case's only legitimate lead. But after the suspect is released, the hospital calls with bad news.
Kenda.
You know that guy, Christopher Devoy? Yeah, he's dead.
Okay, what was the time of death?
Well, there were some complications, and he's passed away from his gunshot wound. So you erase attempted, and it just says murder.
And somebody's looking at the possibility of facing the rest of their life in prison for what they've done. So the stakes have definitely gone up now.
For 2 days, Kenda and his team have been searching for a gunman with a ponytail. But Kenda wonders if he's been relying too heavily on Patricia X's description.
Freeze! Are we working with bad information? Because I'm not getting any vibes from these people. My experience tells me eyewitnesses to traumatic events are unreliable. They are overwhelmed by their emotions. They are overwhelmed by fear. I think we're talking to the wrong people for the wrong reason. We're listening to the ponytail story, and we're not looking past it. Let's explore the crowd more. Let's find other people in here.
Kenda decides to make another trip to the crime scene, hoping to speak to patrons who were there the night of the shooting. What he learns
Hey, ladies, doing?
sends the case in an entirely new direction.
This is not what we all thought.
He threatened to kill people.
It's something totally different.
What did Christopher Devoy find himself involved in when he walked out of that bar? Was it something directed at him? Or was it something else entirely?
29-year-old Chris Devoy has been gunned down in the parking lot of the Erin Inn. After holding on for more than 48 hours, Chris has passed away. Now it's up to Lieutenant Joe Kenda to find out who killed him and why.
Christopher Devoy, from all indication, is an innocent victim who's trying to do the right thing. He's going to take 2 women home because they've had too much to drink. And he's going to die for that? No. We need to find whoever did this.
After questioning and releasing the only real suspect, bar regular Brett Maverick, Kenda has returned to the Erin Inn in search of new leads.
Hey, ladies, doing?
In speaking with other patrons, he learns the bar isn't the friendly corner lounge it seems to be.
We learned that there is some narcotics trafficking that has occurred in the bar in the past. That's a whole nother door that's been opened up that you got to start looking into, going, do we have a drug dealer went bad? Is Chris involved in drugs? Did he talk to a drug dealer?
The bar's owner claims they've worked hard to rid the place of the drug element. But one dealer has refused to go away.
Somebody finally tells us about Donnie, the drug dealer. Everybody knows he sells marijuana. Because of the Aaron Inn anti-drug policy, he politely conducts his business in the parking lot.
According to some patrons, Donnie was known to resort to violence in order to keep that business running smoothly.
What type of person is Donnie?
Just loud, obnoxious, and he threatened to kill people.
You've actually heard him threaten to shoot people before?
Yeah.
We find 4 different people
Where's my money? Get off me!
who see him in a heated argument
Donnie, that ain't cool, man. Where's my money?
late at night
See this? Hey,
with a client
you see this? Hey, cool out.
shrieking at him that he's going to kill him and everybody he's ever known in his life unless he pays his drug debts.
Blow your head off!
Donnie the drug dealer certainly seems capable of murder. But by all accounts, the victim, Chris Devoy, wasn't into drugs. So what was the connection between Chris and Donnie?
I like the image of Donnie, the fat-mouthed marijuana salesman, who's going to shoot everybody, who conducts his business late at night in the same parking lot where a victim is shot. Now, I also know that our victim doesn't use drugs. But what if he has some confrontation with Donnie about the fact that he's selling dope in the bar parking lot? Get me Donnie, our Pablo Escobar lookalike, and drag his ass in here.
Detectives track down Donnie Zilmer and bring him back to the station for questioning.
Donnie?
But when Kenda lays eyes on their new suspect,
Donnie Zilmer?
he stops short.
I'm looking at Donnie, and he could be Christopher Devoy's twin brother. I almost puke. What if we have mistaken identity? Donnie is an Donnie threatens everybody. Fear eventually leads to contempt. What if somebody decides to take Donnie out before he takes them out? Our case has just gone 180 degrees.
Freeze!
Donnie begins in my mind as a suspect, and when I see him, he's a motive.
You're free to go.
But if Donnie was the killer's real target, then solving the case just got much more difficult.
If our shooter comes out of his clientele base, we have major trouble. We could be looking at 100 people that do business with this guy. How many customers does he have?
You got to start looking into Donnie. You got to know everything there is to know about him. Who he's dealing drugs to, who's his enemies. That's going to, again, open another huge door that you've got to explore.
This, in my view, is an awful set of circumstances. And I just go back in my office and sit down. This is going to take forever. So I'm sitting in my office feeling exceptionally sorry for myself, thinking that this case has just gone down the drain, and my phone rings.
It's Kenda.
Oh my. We're looking to dig something up, and something just fell out of the sky.
Lieutenant Joe Kenda and his men are nearly 72 hours into their search for Chris Devoy's killer. But it seems that with every new development, the truth slips further and further away.
At this particular moment in this case, we have a dead body. We have a grieving girlfriend. We have grieving friends in the bar. And we got nothing. I don't feel as if we have a legitimate place to go.
There was just a lot of confusion going on, not a whole lot of hope.
But Kenda knows that in a murder investigation, hope can come in many forms. From eyewitness testimony, from ballistics, or even from a phone call.
My phone rings.
It's Kenda.
And it's the district attorney.
Got some info on that shooting.
Okay.
He says, I was just approached by a lawyer, and his client has knowledge of your crime at the Aaron Inn, and he is willing to provide at least one name. Oh my. We're looking to dig something up, and something just fell out of the sky. This lawyer gives us a name. He says the boy's name is Derek Marlowe.
The 20-year-old telemarketer is a longtime resident of Colorado Springs. Derek was also at a party recently, where he heard someone making alarming claims about the shooting at the Aaron Inn. Detectives head to Derek Marlowe's house to interview him.
So, Derek, we were told you had some information for us.
Kenda quickly sizes him up.
He's just a guy who lives with his father. He's not an experienced criminal. He's not an experienced loyalist to other criminals. Introduce ourselves?
What happened at the party?
I understand you went to a party on the 29th. Oh, yeah, I went to a party. And who was there? And he lays out a bunch of names.
It was all high school kids, except him.
And there's this older guy there. Well, what do you mean by older? Well, he's 24 years old. And what's his name? James Shackleford.
Shot. Get over here. You're on my team.
According to Marlowe, Shackleford was new to the group. But as the only one of their friends over the age of 21, he quickly came to play a key role.
He was willing to buy alcohol, and when you're 18 and you can get alcohol from somebody and you're not looking for him every night, hey, he's your best friend.
But it turns out James Shackleford also has a checkered past.
He was a troublemaker. Kicked out of one home after another.
He was an ex-Marine that he'd been kicked out of the Marines because he punched his sergeant in the mouth. He would say stuff like, oh, let's go knock off a liquor store. Oh, I said I'm going to storm the police station and kill all the cops.
Mr. Bad Guy, Mr. Violence, Mr. Storm Police Stations and rob banks. Okay. Is he like number 3 in Al-Qaeda? Who is this guy?
According to Derek Marlowe, most of the friends in their group thought Shackleford's threats were just idle trash talk.
James says we're going to go jack a car so that we don't have to walk anymore. And I was like, okay, sure, dude. I was like, why don't you get me a red one while you're at it?
Derek Marlowe tells Kenda he thought nothing more of the exchange until he heard James Shackleford telling a far more chilling story.
Well, he's bragging at the party about how he shot a guy in the neck with a .44. Wow. He only has the right wound location. He's got the right caliber. I feel it in my bones. This is it. This is it.
Marlowe tells Kenda that James Shackleford even produced evidence to back up his claims.
I'll do it again. How about this?
Well, he had the gun. He was showing the gun to people.
Can you describe your gun? It's a big magnum. Silver, like in the movies.
Great big gun, revolver. He said it was a .44 Magnum.
He was acting like, I'm a really bad guy here. Don't mess with me. I've got a gun. I'm not afraid to use it.
I just remember him making that comment, I've already killed one person this week, and I won't mind killing another. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Marlowe tells Kenda that to prove his point, Shackleford singled out a friend of theirs named Nate Morano.
James announces in a loud voice to the crowd that if anybody tells the cops what I've done, this is what's going to happen.
I'll shoot him again.
And he puts the gun to Nate's forehead and he cocks the hammer.
Whoa! You don't think I'll pull the trigger?
And he pulls the trigger. But it goes click. Everybody screams. Nate runs out of the house.
Pansy ass, go cry to mama.
You tell me who else was at the party?
Derek Marlowe rattles off the names of the other party-goers, but focuses on one name in particular.
Jeff Kilowitz.
According to Derek Marlowe, out of all the friends in their group, Jeffrey Kilowitz is especially close to James Shackleford.
Well, he runs with 2 other kids. One is Jeffrey Kilowitz. I know him. He's 18 years old. And he runs with this other kid who was there named Jeremy Kirby. And James is their bud, and all three of them are always together.
Kenda wonders if Jeffrey Kielwitz could have been there the night of the shooting. Derek Marlowe certainly seems to think so.
Well, he said Jeffrey was with him. Really? Yeah, they both of them together.
We appreciate it. This is very helpful.
Derek Marlowe's statement is eye-opening and breathes new life into the investigation. But Kenda and his men quickly discover that tracking down James Shackleford won't be easy.
James was actually bouncing all over the place.
James wanders around town. He's homeless.
With his prime suspect in the wind, Kenda settles for the next best thing: Shackleford's possible accomplice, Jeffrey Kielwitz.
Who is it?
Jeffrey Kielwitz?
Yeah?
Mind if we come in?
Sure.
We're talking to him. And he is evasive, and he is nervous, and he is frightened.
So you don't know James Shackleford?
No?
He doesn't know anybody named James. He wasn't at any party. He never saw a gun. He doesn't know.
We were at a party with him a couple nights ago. Remember that?
No.
So we start playing with him. Said, Jeffrey, maybe you think you're invisible. Maybe you think people can't see you.
He was waving a gun around.
But Derek Marlowe sees you.
But Jeffrey Kielwitz is sticking to his story.
We have a warrant to search the premises.
Hey, wait a minute.
So Kenda searches the house for evidence.
Is your bedroom right here?
There's nothing in there, man.
It doesn't take long to hit pay dirt.
On his dresser are 2 live 44 Magnum shells. We open a dresser door and find a Taurus stainless steel 6-inch 44 Magnum revolver, black neoprene grips, unloaded.
It's not mine. It's not mine at all. I don't even know how they got in there.
Now, in full-on panic mode, Jeffrey Kielwitz puts his hand on the door and considers making a run for it.
What would happen if I ran right now?
So he looks at us with this frightened look in his face and he says, "What happens if I run?"
You want to run, Jeffrey?
And we look at him and say, "Jeffrey, that would be the greatest mistake of your short life. You know we know. There's a woman in that car, Jeffrey. She saw you and you saw her."
What you need to do is have a seat and tell us what really happened.
Caught red-handed, Jeffrey Kielwitz lays out just how the murder of Chris Devoy came to pass.
James was the one that shot him.
Apparently, it all stemmed from his pal James Shackleford's dire financial straits.
Jeffrey says, James starts telling these kids that he needs money. He's been breaking into Ramada Inns and spending the night. He has no money, he has no future, he has no home. He needs cash. He tells him he knows a guy in Pueblo that's going to buy a car from him. It's a chop shop. And he'll pay $1,000 for a nice car.
There's only one problem with the plan. James Shackleford doesn't have a car to sell, so he decides to steal one and enlist Jeffrey as his partner in crime.
We're gonna do anything, man. We were just gonna take their car.
What happened?
So they go out shopping. It's midnight. They see several cars. They don't like any of them. They walk over to the Aaron Inn. They see a Mitsubishi Eclipse. They like it.
I think that's them right there.
They're standing in the parking lot looking at it when the doors of the bar open and a man and 2 women come giggling out of the bar. They walk directly to that car and they get in. James turns and says, "Let's rob them."
Man up, come on.
According to Kielwitz, while trying to rob the trio, Shackleford panicked and shot Chris Devoy.
They run up to the car. James produces his gun and yells, "Freeze!"
Freeze!
The next thing he hears is a gunshot.
Kenda is stunned. It appears the murder of Chris Devoy was committed at random.
Random crimes are the most difficult to solve because there's no connection to the victim and there ultimately is no motive. I used to tell my guys, don't worry about the bullet that has your name on it. Be worried about the one that says to whom it may concern.
But Jeffrey Kielwitz has one more confession to make. A confession that calls into question everything Kenda and his team thought they knew about this case.
It's an amazing turn of events. And it illustrates why this case is so disturbing.
Through the confession of accomplice Jeffrey Kielwitz, Lieutenant Joe Kenda has discovered that the murder of 29-year-old Chris Devoy was an apparent random act of violence.
Freeze!
And the architect of the crime was an ex-Marine by the name of James Shackleford.
Chris was just leaving the bar to take two girls home, and to see him just get in the car to try to leave and then is shot and dies as a result of that. Just very sad, very tragic.
But as Kenda listens to this confession, he senses that Jeffrey Kielwitz isn't being entirely forthcoming.
You better start talking right now. We know you didn't pull the trigger, but you better start telling us exactly what happened.
So we're talking to Jeffrey Kielwitz. Has he been truthful? Probably not completely. I'm sitting there looking at him and I said, so anybody with you besides James?
The question catches Jeffrey off guard, and he does his best to dodge it.
Don't ask me what I mean, Jeffrey. It's a simple question. Was it you and James? Or you and James and somebody else?
Who was there?
Well, it was me and James and Jeremy Kirby.
Jeremy Kirby was there. Yeah.
Though Kenda is surprised to learn of a third perpetrator, he knows from his interview with Derek Marlowe that Jeremy Kirby is also one of James Shackleford's closest friends.
He says he was behind James, and I was standing at the front of the car. Draw me a map. He draws a rectangle. He said, that's the car. I was standing right here. James was at the door, and Jeremy was right behind him. He's at the door.
Oh, go!
But the witnesses don't say.
Let's go.
Kenda books Jeffrey Kielwitz and tasks his men with tracking down Jeremy Kirby. It doesn't take long to find him. Jeremy is arrested at a fast food restaurant where he's applying for a job.
Put your feet on a molding and push yourself back.
But even though Kirby is in police custody, Kenda is denied a face-to-face meeting with him.
He is a juvenile. His parents declined to speak and hire the kid a lawyer. We don't get a statement.
So Kenda and his team focus on finding James Shackleford.
The word in the street is that if he gets in trouble, he goes to his aunt's house in Lakewood, Colorado. We have a phone number and no address. We call the security division of the phone company. Where is this phone? They provide the address. We get an arrest warrant for Shackleford for first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit, and we go to Lakewood.
Detectives arrive at the home of James Shackleford's aunt. Guns drawn, they enter the house.
A warrant for James Shackleford.
What are you doing?
Lay down, on your face. Lay down. Hands on your head.
He says, what are you doing? I didn't do anything. You're wrong about that, James. Yeah, he did. We cuff him and take him out to a police car.
James, what did you do?
When we're standing on his tail, all he can do is cry and lie. Not exactly Mr. Bad Guy.
He gave up immediately. He didn't even put up a fight.
Back at the station, Shackleford is sent to booking.
We arrest James and throw him in jail for first-degree murder.
Jeffrey Kielwitz and Jeremy Kirby are also charged with murder. At trial, both are convicted. and the combined sentences total more than 50 years behind bars. But to the surprise of many, the ringleader of the murder gets off with the lightest sentence.
He went to prison for 16 years. The two kids who were way lesser involved got hit with huge prison sentences, and Shackleford never even got convicted of murder.
To this day, Chris Devoy's parents still mourn the loss of their son.
Changes your life. You know, things aren't quite so happy-go-lucky anymore.
Thankfully, Chris's memory lives on through his children, Jordan and Carissa.
There's times when my mouth is dropped open when Jordan is turned around. And it's like looking at Chris. I can't bring him back. So I have to remember the good times.
As for the community, the random nature of the crime has had a lasting effect.
No one knows what the future holds. No one knows what the next 2 minutes holds. People don't like to think about that because it's frightening. What's Christopher doing? Engaging in an act of kindness. 3 people wandering around in the dark somehow find him. People find that to be terrifying.
Freeze!
They don't like to dwell on that. I don't either.
A home invasion, mysterious footprints, and a body lying in a pool of blood.
Whoever did this has a head start. I don't like head starts.
I just couldn't understand how something like this could happen.
Every time I say I think I've seen it all, I see something new.
I was in total disbelief. Total disbelief.
As Lieutenant Joe Kenda searches for answers, he discovers an unthinkable truth.
Well, my. The fog begins to lift, so it's time for a little payback. I often talk to relatives and neighbors, and they say, she didn't have an enemy in the world. Well, I disagree. She had one. That's what made her look like this.
September 27th, 1988. It's a warm autumn afternoon in East Colorado Springs. School's out, and 15-year-old Chuck Limbrick has met up with his best friend, Christopher Morrow.
The two of them had gone to the same school, and then Chris's family moved north. Chris was such a dedicated friend to Chuck that when he wanted to visit Chuck, Chris actually had to take the bus.
The boys arrive at Chuck's house on Potter Drive just past 4 p.m. But Chuck is surprised to find the front door isn't open as usual.
It's locked.
He realized that he had lost his key. There was a neighbor who kind of kept keys for the neighborhood kids in case they got locked out. They went to the neighbor's house to get the key that was always kept there.
Hey, Mr. Roberts. My front door is locked. I was wondering if you had a key.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it's that one.
Alrighty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be back.
Hey, Chris, how's your dad?
While Chuck tries the key, Christopher stays behind to chat with the neighbor, Bill Roberts.
Dad enjoying his new job?
Yeah.
But the friendly conversation is interrupted by a blood-curdling scream. Bill and Christopher race over to the Limbrick home. Once inside, Bill makes a gruesome discovery.
He went through the front door, downstairs, and found Betty Limbrick. She'd been shot in the head once.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, boys, back upstairs.
While Bill ushers the boys back to his house to call 911, young Chuck tries to process the traumatic event.
He was badly shaken by that, horrified by the realization, and then actually sick to his stomach over the whole thing.
When first responder Don Chagnon arrives on the scene, he proceeds with extreme caution.
We checked the interior of the house to make sure that there was nobody else inside. See her downstairs, she's face down on the floor. There's a large pool of blood underneath her head. There was no vital signs. She was obviously beyond resuscitation.
Once the victim is pronounced dead, homicide detective Lieutenant Joe Kenda is notified of the body.
Kenda. We are always called anytime a death occurs outside the presence of a doctor to determine method and manner.
Minutes later, Kenda pulls up at 520 Potter Drive and takes a moment to survey his surroundings.
Everything about this neighborhood is perfectly normal. All these homes are very well kept. There are no houses in any state of disrepair. This is a major event for this neighborhood.
Before stepping inside,
what do you got?
Kenda asks Officer Chagnon for his take on the crime scene.
When I first came down, saw a lady laying in a puddle of blood.
When we first got there, we saw the one shell casing, the entry wound to the head, which would be typical of a suicide.
But Kenda knows that violent crime investigations are not always that open and shut.
There are a number of possibilities as how this person came to be dead. You can't pursue one versus another more vigorously because all could be true. You don't know enough yet to have an opinion.
To determine if this death is in fact a suicide, Kenda needs to learn more about the victim herself.
Who is this woman? Her name is Betty Jean Limbrick. She's 42 years old.
She was extremely well-liked in the community, just a wonderful lady. She was kind of the all-American mom, holding down jobs, did charity work, worked very hard for her church.
It would seem as if Betty Limbrick had a lot to live for.
She is married. She has several children, most of whom are adults and have moved out of the house. She has one child remaining at home, and that's Chuck, the young man who found her when he borrowed the neighbor's key.
Kenda and his team have also learned that Betty's work schedule often allowed her to return home in the early afternoon.
She worked for School District 11, and she drove a bus full of kids every day. So she worked in the morning, and then she was off for a couple hours while the kids were in school, and then she went back and drove the kids in the afternoon after school.
Something about that scenario doesn't sit right with Kenda.
Something's wrong here. You have a 42-year-old woman, mother of several children, who's discovered in the middle of the afternoon in a upper-class neighborhood in her own home. She had only been home a few minutes when her death occurred. That's unusual.
Kenda makes his way down to the basement, where he finds Betty Limbrick's body at the foot of the stairs.
Gravity affects the amount of blood that's seen at a crime scene. There's a slight cant to the floor. Her body drains blood. So the blood pool is thick and it is huge because most of the blood in her body, 6 to 8 pints, is now on the floor.
Kenda notices more evidence sprayed across a nearby wall.
The only thing that'll produce high-velocity blood spatter is a bullet. It is traveling faster than the speed of sound, and it breaks the human body upon entry. It produces a cloud of blood, a red mist, referred to as high-velocity blood spatter. I see that on the paneling next to her body. I need to look closer. It requires me to step in the blood. Part of the nature of this work is you get dirty. I get into a crouch and I look at her head. She has a single entry, close contact gunshot wound to the left temple. When I say close contact, I mean that the gun was less than an inch from the surface of her head.
All signs indicate this may indeed be a suicide. Until Kenda discovers that Betty's head wasn't the only point of entry.
She has a gunshot wound to the right hand. It's from the back of her hand at the joint of the middle finger, and there's an exit wound in her palm. Because the hand wound would be very painful, she may be collapsing from the pain. Then the second shot is administered. This doesn't fit at all with a suicide.
The 2 slugs Kenda finds on the floor confirm his suspicions about the true nature of the crime.
One has ricocheted, most likely the hand wound. The other's the headshot. We determined them to be .357 Magnum. And I'm thinking, well, pretty hard to shoot yourself twice. Plus, apparently a little fairy came and took the gun away. I don't think so. Now, unless this lady works for this circus, she didn't shoot herself. Somebody else did. Now, I've gone from low to 6th gear. This is a murder in the middle of the afternoon in a nice neighborhood. This changes everything, and it gets a lot more complicated.
Kenda begins this homicide investigation the same as all the others, with a simple but crucial question.
Who would want to kill her? Somebody wanted to. I have no idea who. I need to find out. But at this point in time, possibilities are endless.
Making matters worse, the killer has almost a 2-hour head start.
I don't like head starts. The person responsible is busy. They are destroying evidence. They're distancing themselves from the crime scene. They're establishing an alibi. They're doing all kinds of important things. And what are you doing? You're walking in a circle, wondering what the hell happened here.
And this is where we found the purse.
That's when Officer Chagnon leads Kenda upstairs, where he's discovered a promising clue.
Her purse. All the zippered pockets are open and unzipped. Her credit cards are there. Her ID is there, but there's no cash.
The missing cash leads Kenda to a new line of thinking.
Did she come home and discover a burglary? And in panic, the burglar shot her? That's a possibility.
The purse isn't the only piece of evidence pointing to burglary.
There was some signs of forced entry to the back of the house.
You got the window that's open in the back, you got the screen pulled off, you got some footprints in the dirt under the deck.
Maybe somebody thought she was going to be out of the house all day instead of coming home for that split between her shifts. Maybe something bizarre happened.
While considering the home invasion theory, Kenda uncovers another crucial clue.
Where's her car? She parks in the garage. There's nothing in the garage. Now I need to find a car. I want to know who or what is in it, and I want to know right now.
But before Kenda can track down the missing vehicle, he'll discover there's even more to Betty's murder than meets the eye.
You look at that body. That's up close and personal. That's not shooting her from 30 feet away, or just firing a couple of shots and getting lucky. This is an execution.
"42-year-old Betty Limbrick was found by her son lying lifeless in a pool of blood. The initial theory was suicide, but Lieutenant Joe Kenda has discovered evidence that points to a breaking and entering gone awry. And Kenda has just identified a pivotal clue missing from Betty's garage.
Where's her car? She drives it to work every day. She parks in the garage. There's nothing in the garage. You have a screen off a window, you got footprints in and out of this room, you have cash missing from a purse, now you have a stolen car. What if one or two people break into this house because they think nobody's home, our victim comes home, there's a confrontation, shots are fired, they steal the car, and they run? Very possible.
Finding the missing car could lead Kenda to Betty Limbrick's killer or killers.
We put that out to every agency in the area. Car stolen in a burglary homicide. Here's the vehicle, here's the plate number. Find that car.
In the meantime, Kenda needs to speak with the first witness on the scene, Betty's youngest son, Chuck.
He discovered his mother dead. That is tragic.
According to neighbors, Chuck was especially close with his mother.
Let's see. What you got?
She dotes on him. She loves him. She gives him her undivided attention. They describe Chuck as a quiet, polite young man who is a budding musician.
He was a diamond in the rough, and he was a very, very strong influence in the program because he believed so highly in music.
By all accounts, Chuck is as popular as he is artistic.
He was writing for one of the officers of student council the very next day. So very well liked by the student body, obviously very charismatic.
Detectives find Chuck Limbrick next door, where he's being consoled by neighbor Bill Roberts and his best friend, Christopher Morrow. Kenda knows it's an unusually delicate situation.
Hey, Chuck, I know this is really, really horrible. I'm very sorry about your mom.
I realize this kid has just lost his mother. And I tell him that. Chuck, I know this is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. But I need to ask you to tell me what happened.
I was walking home. We were walking home. And,
Chuck gives it a shot, but the conversation is short-lived.
He starts to tear up while he's telling me this. I don't want to press it much further than that. This kid has already seen his mother dead in his house. I don't need to make his day any worse than it already is.
Chris, is there anything you can add to it?
Kenda turns to Chuck's best friend, Christopher, who is also visibly shaken.
I ask him to tell me what happened. He repeats the story. It's identical to the story he tells the officers. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm sorry to have to ask you these things. It's part of the work.
Kenda has learned nothing new from the boys' accounts, but he wonders if neighbor Bill Roberts could shed some light on the case.
I go talk to Bill. Do you know if Betty has any enemies? Has anybody would hurt her?
She was just a real nice person.
Everybody loves Betty. Nobody would want to hurt her.
It's a refrain Kenda has come to know all too well.
I often talk to relatives and neighbors, and they say, she didn't have an enemy in the world. Well, I disagree. She had one. That's what made her look like this. People lead secret lives. People know each other based on surface contact. They don't know what's beneath that surface. They don't know what's really going on in someone's life. We have to find that out.
Is there anything else you can think of?
You know, I heard rumors that there might have been an infidelity, but I don't know.
The neighbor was able to flesh out the situation at the Limbrick household a little bit more. There was a little bit of neighborhood scuttlebutt that maybe there was an affair going on. Maybe Betty was having an affair. So, yeah, you got a woman dead in her home, no particular reason, middle of the day, purported marital problems, friction going on. I'm looking for that husband.
People always say, well, that's the husband. Well, a lot of times it is. People who live together closely have issues. Is Dad a suspect? You bet he is.
The alleged affair isn't the only thing pointing to Mr. Limbrick as a possible suspect.
Well, he did tell me that he recently bought her a gun for protection.
Well, you know, Chuck Sr. told me one time he was going to buy a gun to give to his wife for her to protect herself. Not only do we have a married guy, now we have a guy that maybe bought a gun. Well, at this moment, I'm real interested in anybody that owns a gun.
Could marital troubles have led Chuck Sr. to murder his own wife and attempt to disguise it as a botched robbery? To find out, Kenda must track down Betty's husband.
I need this guy, and I would like to have him 10 minutes ago. Is he running from this crime? Does he have the gun he bought with him and he used it to kill his wife? Well, we're going to find out, because I need Charles Sr. in my hands.
Mother mother of 4, Betty Limbrick, was found shot and killed in her basement. Lieutenant Joe Kenda has learned that the victim may have been having marriage troubles. And her husband, Charles Limbrick Sr., recently purchased a handgun. Could trouble in paradise have led to a domestic homicide?
It is common. Unfortunately, married men and women don't always get along. Somebody decides that it's time for this to end, and we're not going to bother getting involved in the expense of an attorney. We're just going to buy this gun, and I'm going to resolve this right now.
The first order of business is to track down Betty's husband.
Where is Charles Sr.? Does he have his gun in his waistband and he's crossing a state line to get away from me?
Kenda's team zeroes in on Charles Sr. It turns out he is crossing state lines, but not for the reason Kenda suspected.
All the effort finally produces his whereabouts, and he's 800 miles away.
Her husband was a truck driver and he was out of state.
The guy had a rock-solid alibi. His trucking company knew where he was. He had been in touch with them.
It's the moment of frustration you get in these cases. She'd been dead for less than an hour when discovered, so unless he's got an F-15 in his pocket, he's 800 miles away. Could not have been him. I liked Dad. Dad's not part of it. Now what?
Just then, the case takes a dramatic turn.
Kenda.
Patrol unit calls, says we have the car. Boo.
All right, we'll be right there.
I'm thinking, okay, we may find evidence that's critical. We could find fingerprints. We could find all kinds of goodies in that car.
Less than 2 miles from the crime scene, Kenda finds the missing vehicle.
There's the car, parked in a shopping center parking lot.
How you doing?
I think I found your car.
You didn't touch anything, did you?
No, sir. I got crime lab en route.
All right, thanks.
We look it over. There's no blood transfer on the steering column. No blood in the car at all. There's no evidence apparent of any value in the vehicle.
No blood, no weapon, nothing in the backseat? No.
The lack of evidence only raises more questions.
This is not what auto thieves do. They don't drive a short distance and walk away. It's very odd to me. Why is the car there? Why is it so close? Why is there nothing in it? It's, at that point, a mystery to me.
Kenda and his men canvass the nearby shopping center in search of anyone who might have seen the person behind the wheel of Betty's car. It's certainly no easy task.
Joe Kenda.
Jay Bernard.
You see this four-door car right here?
Yes, sir.
Do you happen to see who dropped that car out?
No.
You're asking people to remember who parked a car in a 3,000 car parking lot. Good luck.
How long has it been there?
A couple hours.
No, it's been there for 2 days.
No, it has.
Nobody has a clue. Somebody thinks it's been there for 5 days. Somebody else thinks it's been there all morning. So you have all sorts of misinformation coming into your hands. Nothing of any use.
Kenda and his crew are back to square one.
The frustration just keeps building. So you have to just stop. Just stop. I want to think about this. Where are we now? The only thing that's still true right now is Betty's still dead. Nothing else is. So we've got nowhere. Let's go back to the beginning.
The beginning means the crime scene, and any potential witnesses who may have slipped through the cracks.
Was there anybody that wasn't home that we can go back to now and talk to? Oh yeah, several addresses, no answer. Fine, do that and come and tell me.
Later that afternoon,
29213.
one of Kenda's men radios back with a promising new lead.
He says, you're gonna like this. I'm gonna like what? I got a kid, juvenile female, this girl named Nikki, who says she's got information about this case.
Directly across the street from the Limbrick home, Kenda meets 14-year-old Nikki Lindquist.
How you doing? I'm Joe Kenda, the detective working on this case.
I came home to see a bunch of people in our driveway, not knowing what was going on. I remember being, pretty shocked.
You have some information for me?
When Kenda asks the teenager if she saw anything unusual the day of Betty's murder, she immediately drops a bombshell.
I was walking home from school, and I saw Chuck's mom's car driving down the road.
I know the family. I know Mrs. Limbrick. I know her car. I saw that car today.
This kid from school, Chris, he was in the car.
I couldn't see who was driving it, but the kid in the passenger seat was Christopher Morrow.
The same Christopher Morrow Kenda had spoken with just hours earlier, who was there to console his grief-stricken best friend. Could he have something to do with Betty Limbrick's murder? Kenda asks Nikki to tell him more.
Well, I know Chris has been in trouble with the police.
Chris was in my 8th grade history class. He was kind of troubled. There were times that he'd lie, and it was probably one of the things that kind of helped me make the decision to distance myself from him.
So I have somebody run Christopher Morrow's name.
When Kenda's men do a background check on Christopher, they realize he's more than just your average troublemaker.
He is an auto thief. Got arrested for stealing a car. He talked to the police and gave them a bunch of other names and arrested some other people too. Two things key in my mind when she says that. Okay, he's a thief, but more importantly, he's a talker. He doesn't like going down by himself. That is terrific information to have.
It also leads Kenda to believe Christopher's grieving friend routine may have been an act.
Everybody lies to me. I'm accustomed to it, but it doesn't stop me from taking it personally. So it's time for a little payback with Christopher. My whole demeanor changes. I'm no longer confused. I'm no longer walking in a circle. Christopher Morrow, you little bastard. Why was I feeling sorry for you? The race is already over. He just doesn't know it.
"15-year-old Chuck Limbrick came home from school to find his mother, Betty Limbrick, dead from a gunshot wound to the head. After several false leads, Lieutenant Joe Kenda has finally narrowed in on a suspect: Chuck Limbrick's best friend, Christopher Morrow.
Here we are, we're in close pursuit of a 15-year-old boy with a stolen gun for killing his friend's mother. All the frustration, all the oversight, mistake, things that are happening, nobody seems to know. Dad is 800 miles away. We're getting nowhere in the burglary thing. Nothing's vague now. The smoke has lifted, the air has cleared, and I'm focused. We need to talk to Christopher, and we need to rattle his bones.
But there's still a nagging question about Kenda's new suspect.
The concept of a 15-year-old friend killing somebody's mother, you go, what are the dynamics with that? You know, especially he was in this woman's house frequently, had been for a couple of years. What could she have done that would have made him want to murder her?
You've got to have a reason to kill somebody. It may be an insane reason, it may be completely twisted, it could be anything. But you need a reason. Does Christopher Morrow have one? I don't know. Let's go find out.
Before interviewing the teenager for the second time, Kenda needs to speak with the boy's parents.
You never go directly to someone. You approach them from afar. Their family, their friends. You circle them a little bit and see what you can learn. So Christopher has a father and a mom. Let's go talk to them.
Mr. Merrill, is your husband home?
Yes, Detective Kenda.
Could you go get him for me, please?
When Kenda arrives, he gets right down to business.
Do you have a handgun, Mr. Merrill?
Yeah, I do. Go get it for me, would you? Comes back downstairs with a look of shock in his face. He says, I can't find it. You can't find it? No.
Do you have any idea where it is?
I have no idea. You have paperwork on that gun? I do. Let me see it. Smith & Wesson Model 19, 6-inch barrel, .357 Magnum revolver.
The slugs found at the crime scene were from a .357 Magnum.
Now I'm thinking, okay, Christopher's in the car. Christopher has a gun that he stole from his own father, and the gun's the right caliber. Now we are cooking. I don't have any more theories. I have Christopher, and he's going to be all I need for right now.
I went to speak with your son again right now.
Fearing the worst, the Morrows begin to panic.
They come unglued. Well, is Christopher involved in this? Oh my God, are you going to arrest my son for murder? One question after another, which you ignore. I ignore. Your son may or may not be part of that investigation. We need to talk to him right now.
When Christopher sees Lieutenant Kenda again, the 15-year-old doesn't look happy.
He walks into the room, stops dead in his tracks. Hello, Christopher. How are you? You remember me.
Have a seat.
I have more questions. And I want you to think about it before you answer me. I want you to clearly recall what you did. Do you understand? Yes? Tell me.
We walked home to Chuck's house, and the door was locked.
He goes through the same story, pretty much on the mark.
As Christopher spells out his version of events again, Kenda gets an idea.
I know that Christopher can talk. He has before. I'm thinking of ways to get into his head. While we're sitting there just talking and he's telling me his story, I'm looking at his shoes and I'm thinking about those footprints I saw.
Those are pretty nice shoes you got there.
Let me see it. And he kind of extends his leg and lets it profile. And I said, no, take it off. Well, I don't want to take it off. You take it off or I'll take it off. So he takes off the shoe and he gives it to me. I turn it over and I'm studying the tread. I'm not studying the tread, but I want him to think I am. And I'm not saying anything to him. I'm just looking at it very, very carefully.
Would you find it strange if I told you we found a footprint outside of the window that matches the tread on these shoes?
No. A whole lot of people have those shoes.
It's true, a lot of people do, Chris. But you know something interesting? So do you. And now he's rattled. He's shaking, he's scared to death. Great. I've got both fingers up Christopher's nostrils. And he knows it, and so do I.
You could even see that troubled look in his face, and he was feeling that Christopher wants to tell me something right now. He wants to get this off his chest. He knows he's getting in too deep. How can I help him do that?
So I ask him a punishment question. Very useful technique with adults. It works especially well with kids.
What do you think should happen to somebody that kills someone in cold blood?
And his lip is quivering the whole time.
They should be locked up for a very long time.
What if that person was a kid?
What do you think ought to happen to him? Silence. Oh, Christopher, I could kiss you on the mouth.
Kenda has his prime suspect right where he wants him.
When you see those tells, the eye movement, the facial muscle contortion, the nervous feet, all the things that liars do, you are rounding that clubhouse turn. You're talking to the right guy. You just have to get him to go the rest of the way.
I'm going to tell you what you're going to do, Christopher. You're going to start telling me the truth.
Tell me what happened. And Christopher, don't lie to me. I know it when you lie to me, and I don't like it.
Little does Kenda know, Christopher Morrow is about to reveal the most shocking truth of all, and take the investigation in a direction no one saw coming.
He impresses me as a participant kind of guy. He's not a leader, he's a follower. Followers don't shoot people, leaders do.
Lieutenant Joe Kenda is interrogating 15-year-old Christopher Morrow in order to uncover his role in the murder of his best friend's mother, Betty Limbrick. The teenager appears ready to crack.
He's getting himself in deeper and he knows it and he's trying to look for a way out. And that's when he came clean and said, let me tell you what happened.
And he lays it out. Absolutely lays it out. Chapter and verse.
What Christopher reveals is not what Kenda expected. In fact, it's anything but.
Christopher says that about a month ago, Chuck comes to him.
Chuck told me he was gonna run away.
He just wants to go start a new life, and he wants to go to Canada. Christopher says, you know, I'm gonna run away with you. I got in trouble over that car thing, and my parents have been on my case, and I want to go to Canada with you and live there.
But the morning they planned to leave, Chuck called Christopher with a last-minute request.
He says to Christopher, bring some protection. What do you mean? Bring a gun. Do you have a gun? My dad has a gun. Bring it. So he goes to his father's closet, takes the gun in the brown holster, throws it in a backpack, and heads over to Chuck's.
The boys pile into Chuck Sr.'s car and pull out, headed for adventure up north. But they don't get very far. While at an intersection, Chuck sees something that alters his plans.
Chuck sees his mom driving the Buick on her way home from work.
We gotta be her home.
And he speeds up, floors the car to get there before she does. He doesn't say why. He doesn't say why he needs to beat her home. He just says that he does.
And they drive back to the house before Mom gets there. They go in through the back window and they wait downstairs.
When they get inside, Chuck says, did you bring the gun? And Christopher, yeah, I brought it.
Give me the gun. Why? Just give me the gun.
So he does, he gives it to him.
Christopher says he watched in fear as his best friend stepped into the hallway, gun drawn.
Merrill said he stayed in the bedroom. Chuck positioned himself at the bottom of the stairs down to the lower level. Mrs. Limbrick came into the house.
Chucky, are you home?
And Chuck did not respond. There was quite a bit of time before she came down to the lower level.
Christopher doesn't know what to do. He stays put. He stays in that room. And that works for me. Because consider, he's a follower, not a leader. He's frightened now. Chuck's got a gun, for God's sake. And he's going out in that hallway to confront his mother.
Christopher said he could hear the gun click. It's a heck of a noise to hear that hammer being pulled back, and it really reverberates, if you will, in a small room.
But the click of the hammer is nothing compared to what Christopher hears next.
Chucky?
He hears a gunshot. He hears Mrs. Limbrick say, Chucky, I love you. He hears a second gunshot. He hears Mrs. Limbrick hit the floor.
According to Christopher, he then stepped out of the bedroom to find Betty Limbrick's dead body lying face down at the foot of the stairs.
He comes out. He can't believe it. There is a puddle of blood forming around her head. And Chuck looks at him and says, get some trash bags. We're going to bag her up and dump her somewhere.
Christopher says he was overcome with fear and convinced his best friend to change course.
He says, no, somebody may have heard those shots and we need to get out of here. Chuck then decides, okay, let's turn this into a burglary situation. We can make this look like a burglary.
The boys then made their way upstairs where Chuck took all of the cash from his mother's purse, along with her car keys.
They drove the car over to a nearby shopping center. Apparently, they felt, for some reason, they had to dispose of her car.
We gotta figure something out.
And they're sitting there talking about what their story will be. Chuck comes up with the idea of, I'll throw away my keys in a field, and then I can bring the neighbor in as a witness and say, can you let me into the house? I forgot my keys. So it looks like this discovery of a body and a burglary that's gone bad.
Kenda is blown away. By all accounts, Chuck Limbrick seemed like the perfect all-American kid.
Nobody thought that Chuck, the musician, the polite, quiet, good student, could kill his mother. How tragic is it that you bring somebody into the world and you nurture them and you love them and you raise them, and 15 years later, they take you out of the world? How can that be? You look at that and you think, well, my. That's a little cold, isn't it, Chucky? You killed your own mother?
But what Kenda can't figure out is why. Christopher Morrow offers up an answer to that question as well.
He couldn't take it anymore.
Christopher talked at great length about how Chuck hated his mother, that she disciplined him, she wouldn't let him do what he wanted. There was always one confrontation after another.
Chuck really didn't like being disciplined, even things like just grounding, which is the type of thing she was doing. And so there was sort of some resentment building up there.
Christopher recalls that right before the murder, Chuck said something truly chilling.
He said, if I don't shoot her, she's going to track us down and we're not going to be able to run away. She'll bring me back at some point. And so that was at least what his stated motive was at the time.
Chuck was vehement that his mother would find them and they needed to kill her to make sure that didn't happen.
Kenda has one last detail to sort out.
At the very end of this conversation, once we're clear on what happened, what'd you do with the gun? Well, they took it to Emerson Junior High School, which is where Chuck went to school, and they hid it in a dumpster under a cardboard box. We went to the dumpster at Emerson Junior, found the weapon still in the brown holster, 2 expended casings, 3 live, .357 Magnum. Chuck's fingerprints are found on the weapon. It is the weapon that registers to Christopher Morrow's father.
Kenda sets out to arrest Chuck Limbrick for the murder of his own mother.
He's at his mother's sister's house staying with them because, of course, his father's still on his way back from Louisiana and his mother's dead.
Hey, Chuck, you know why we're here, don't you?
When Kenda arrives, Chuck doesn't say a word. But Kenda doesn't need him to.
We search him. We pull off his left shoe. We pull off his left sock. And he has $114 in his sock. Money that came out of his mother's purse.
Kenda throws the cuffs on Chuck Limbrick.
You're under arrest for the murder of Betty Jean Limbrick, your mother.
And books him on the charge of first-degree murder.
We arrest him without comment, without incident, for the murder of Betty Jean Limbrick.
For the murder of Betty Jean Limbrick, Christopher Morrow receives 8 years in prison for his role as an accessory. For killing his own mother, however, Chuck's sentence is much steeper.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder.
We convicted Charles Limbrick Jr. of first-degree murder and sentenced him to life in prison in the Colorado State Penitentiary at age 15. He was the youngest person ever placed in the Colorado State Penitentiary in the history of the state.
Even with the guilty verdict, those who knew Chuck Limbrick have a hard time coming to grips with the horrifying nature of the crime.
I could not believe that this young man would do that. He had just been hanging out over here at the band room after school. This couldn't have happened. I was in total disbelief,
Chuck is an example of the adolescent mind. He doesn't consider ramifications. He doesn't consider what happens next. He acts. Charles had an option. Don't shoot your mother to death, and we won't put you in the joint. But if you do that, then you're going to be in there forever.